what's next. Why was Wayne Gretzky successful? When we ask him why he's successful on the ice, what did he say? Practice. Visualize. It's a famous quote. I won't. You don't have to go verbatim, but so what he said was that I don't go where the puck is. I go where it's gonna be, right? And that's what made him really how fantastic a player he is and a legend. And so from a social media perspective, yes, let's look at what our customers use today, but let's look at Real Estate 3 to Central Virginia and say, okay, what they did is they said, where's the puck going? And so think about in your business from a technology perspective to stretch yourself and look at what these tools of the future, the near future, are going to be for your business as well. So summarizing, guerrilla social media marketing, guerrilla marketing is about achieving conventional goals by unconventional means. And what I kind of push you to do or challenge you to do is not use social media like a broom, but to use it like Bruce Lee would, to maximize your engagement, to where your competitors are yelling or being generic, you are having conversations and being specific and developing greater intimacy. And it really is, I believe, social media is part of a greater intimacy revolution that customers and consumers want. And the better we get at it, the sooner we get good at it, the more market share we're going to have. So we've got chapters here. There's got some books. I'm going to stand over here and answer any questions you have after the break, or at the break. They'll be here till the break. But that just about wraps it up, and thank you very much. Perfect. Yeah, questions would be great. Yeah, I wasn't sure of the time range. Any questions? Go ahead.
One quick question. You used the word Facebook groups. Do you mean a Facebook page?
No, what's happened is there was Facebook groups, and they kind of phased out the old-style Facebook groups. And I'm just beginning to play with this tool right now. The new Facebook groups is I create a topic, and I invite, let's say, 4 of you in, and only you are in that group. And it's more of a forum built into Facebook, which is topic-specific from people I've invited in, and I can decide whether you can invite people in or it's a closed gap. It's really like a collaboration tool.
How would you find
There'd be people you've identified in your nano market. Okay, so let's say you've got 5 clients that are interested in, I don't know, commercial real estate in a certain area, or they invest in commercial real estate. Then, from that perspective, you're on Connect on Facebook. You may start a group about commercial real estate in a specific area, invite the 5 in, pose some questions to them, ask for feedback, and allow it to be a forum for a conversation specifically about their area of interest. Yeah. And you can ask them, if you make it public, you could also buy Facebook advertising and drive people to it if you wanted to.
In the example about Blends Coffee, you talked about how they were use Twitter to find people within the geographic area.
Yes.
Can you specify geographic area?
Yes. So what you do is, if you go to the search.twitter.com window, you will see to the right, beside the search button, a little word. You click Advanced, and then it'll say, you'll get a whole bunch of options now. Search all the words, search some of the words, exclude these words. You can search for conversations between specific people, but then you drill down a bit further, it says search within this geographic region, and you can specify within 1 kilometer, 2, 3, 5, 10. And that's what you can do. And so even when I head into Toronto on my Hootsuite application, Hootsuite, by the way, is a great Twitter management tool. Those of you who are feeling a little overwhelmed with the volume, Hootsuite it's like a hoot, like an owl, and suite, like S-U-I-T-E. I can go on here and just click search nearby, and no matter where I'm at, it'll just tell me what's being said within a kilometer where I'm at this point. So it's another Twitter application for local search that you can use. Another question? Go ahead.
You're talking about the future, looking to the future, like the goal, where's the puck going to be?
Yeah.
What about real estate? What do you see happening over the next 1 year?
I think you guys are the experts on real estate. I mean, I think George would be the best one to handle that. But here's my thoughts. Is, we're going to have, talking about the fact that many of the services have been broken up, right, have been unbundled. I think there's going to be people who enter those markets in those specific niches and talk to those nano markets. There's going to be the person who just wants to be listed and handle most of it their own. And there's people who are going to specialize and become experts in that. And I think that there's going to be that type of segmenting. I'm not sure if it's actually good for the customer at the end of the day in some aspects, but I think that's going to be happening because the opportunities are there. I also think we're going to see your local realtor having apps like Real Estate 3 has. I mean, you can build an iPhone app for under $1,000 now, and you can build some really cool stuff for your community and push out information and alerts and what's happening and what's sold and answer questions immediately about real estate in the area. And I think you're going to see that type of nano marketing happening on the handheld device. So I think that that's some of the things. I think, and I'm looking forward to it. It isn't there yet. People claim they have it, but social CRM. So we've all got a contact management suite, right? Whether it's Outlook on our computer or it's Salesforce.com or it's real estate specific. What we're going to see is there's many CRM companies which are now integrating social media. So if I friend you on Facebook, it now will pull in that data, and I can even filter it based upon keywords. And I can get your LinkedIn information, I can pull your Twitter feed, and I can get your blog in there, and I can have all my Google alerts come into that window beside the static information. So my database is now alive. So the information doesn't get stale about the customer. Now, if you market at them too much, they might go unfriend, mute, limit access, and you'll watch your data just disappear. And so there is that pressure to have, again, relevant conversations. So there's a draw here, by the way. I've got a bag here. I'm going to run over and just grab it quick. It's all 3 of my books. It's Guerrilla Social Media. It's Sociable, I wrote with Stephen Jagger. And my first book called Closing Bigger, which is obviously large transactions, and a convenient little army bag. So if you fire your business card in there just after the break, or at the break, we'll do a draw at lunchtime for it. And no strings attached. And no, I won't market at you. So, one more question or 2 more questions?
Just when you talked about how many messages they get tired of, is there a magic number to how often you should be trying to connect?
It's hard. It's relevance. Like I've had some people unfollow me and say, "Oh, you're way too noisy," and then I'll actually ask on Twitter. I'll say, "Am I too noisy? Like, am I pissing you guys off?" People go, "No, we love it. Like, where's your morning quote?" And they're there. And so I think you can't please everybody. And I think that's the bottom line, is that when you try to please everybody, you become irrelevant. And so I think you've got to understand who your market is and what volume of updates they want. But there's different social media etiquette for different platforms. So Twitter, you can do probably 5 updates an hour, and people wouldn't notice because there's so much going on. Here, I took a photo here, here's my thoughts, ask a question. If you do that on Facebook, people, you probably don't know, but they've muted you. They don't no longer see your updates. So you've got to realize that's why when people just tether their Twitter updates to their Facebook updates, unbridled, like just the same time, and they're posting the both at the same time, I think what you'll find is you're going to lose connections. So, definitely think about Twitter as, just, tweet away. Facebook, think about the content you're putting in there. You don't want to stuff people's streams up. And then LinkedIn, we want to lean more towards the professional side. That's where, again, total integration with Twitter, where we're posting the same stuff, like, hey, I'm having a coffee, or what do you think of this place? It's not really relevant for LinkedIn. So you've got to look at that social media etiquette. So I would think more content than volume. That would be my thoughts. Okay, one more question, and then I am going to, before I get the cane. Go ahead.
What platforms or tools or things that are new make you excited? Not real estate specific.
Oh boy, what is making me excited? I'm a bit biased, right? I love my iPhone. I think that the applications that the hyper-local social networking applications on iPhones and BlackBerries really make me excited. I'm a networker. I love connecting and meeting with people. If you're sitting beside me on the plane, I'm sorry. I'm going to talk to you. Not like the whole time, but I'm going to at least try to get to know you, right? And so this for me to extend that network is really fascinating. I think augmented reality is something that's very exciting. There's all kinds of apps on it already, but it's the ability, again, to go into a house with your iPhone, if it's been set up already, pan over stuff and have little pop-up bubbles talk about what the house is about. And you say, oh, that's futures. No, it's happening. There's tools that do that. There's iPhone apps where I can look down Danforth. It's probably not populated yet, and they're in beta, but it'll tell me the specials that are going on based upon what I told my phone I was interested in. So I'm not going to see the the pedicure special, or maybe I would, you never know. But I won't see the pedicure special, but I'll see the one about tires and the billiard shop and the Guinness on special at the Irish pub when I pan the street. And so I think that those augmented reality applications are, like augmented reality, very interesting, and hypermobile, hyperlocal social networks, anything that's going to untether people from their desk, I think is very cool. So anyways, thank you very much, and I will stick around both at the break and at lunchtime before I hop on a plane. Thanks. Thanks. Great. Okay. You need me then.
Yeah, please. Great. That's wonderful. A couple takeaways that I take from what Shane talked about, the concept or the idea of nano marketing, and in traditional marketing language that might mean segmenting your market, but segmenting it much smaller and refining it to the point that you're the recognized expert in that specific niche. That might be condo building at 1947 Queen Street East, right? Like that's your building, right? As an example, nano marketing is very interesting, and the idea about doing it over time. It takes time. When I first started blogging over 3 years ago, I thought the only person maybe watching my blog might have been my mother, and because I had no comments, like you wonder, was anybody listening out there? And then all of a sudden somebody comments, and then it starts from there, right? It can literally take months, right? In traditional marketing, the farming method, right? You don't just farm, maybe knock on doors or send flyers in the traditional world and do all that stuff for 1 month. Like you won't get traction, most likely, right? It takes probably a year before you start to see the payback. And this is really no different. You have to be consistent. And the message about being on your message, know what your message is, know what your strategy is, I think that's all key. So that's fantastic. So thank you very much, Shane. And thanks again for traveling all the way from Vancouver to be with us.